everyone, and a warm welcome to Bay Area Women's Toastmasters meeting. My name is Aarti Jadhav, and I am the Surgeon at Arm, and I am excited to start tonight's session, which is our second AI workshop, which is our second AI workshop series. Before we start, a quick reminder to have your cell phones on silent and your microphones on mute when you're not speaking. We would now officially begin this meeting, and I would like to welcome our club mentor, Abhijit. Abhijit, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aarti. Shalini came up with this idea that we are going to have a initially we started with five, I think we just added a sixth session. So we wanted to do a series on AI so that we can all learn about what are the advances in AI and how we can take advantage of those. So today, this is the second session, and I will now call upon our Toastmaster. Aarti, it's all you.
Thank you, Abhijit. Welcome again, everyone. Our speaker tonight is Jay Mojnidar, and the topic that he's going to talk about or give us this workshop is the AI bubble trouble. So a little bit about Jay, I would like to mention. Jay has 25 years of experience in tech industry. Currently, he is a co-founder of a company that does digitalization of port and marine operations, where he wears multiple hats, from product development to strategy to sales. He also consults as an AI strategist at a couple of startups. His expertise in AI is document process automation with AI agents. Jay also, when has time, talks about AI on his YouTube channel, which is Data Lingo Solutions. Please check out his YouTube channel. I would now like to welcome Jay to begin his session. Over to you, Jay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining. Before starting to share my screen, I would like to know how many of you are using AI in your daily life. It can be your personal use or official use, anything. Okay, yeah, show of hands, yeah, perfect. Almost everybody, right? Nowadays, it's not about whether you use AI or not. It's about how well you know how to use your AI, right? But if you are connected to anything AI, any AI social media, any news channels about AI, you would have heard this. AI is in a bubble. How many of you have heard that? AI bubble. There is an AI bubble. Yes, a few of you. Yeah. Today, I will talk about why there is this clamor about AI bubble. Why suddenly it's coming up? And what are the events that is making this happen like this? And also, I'm going to talk about what are the historical parallels to that and what we can do. What happens if it is a bubble, pops, what happens? So I'm going to talk about all of that. And in the end, there will be question and answer session also. You can raise any questions. I will try to answer as much as possible. With that, let me share my screen. So are we in a bubble? We are all using AI, but there is a lot of this talk about bubble. Are we in a bubble? Because we know there are like a lot of GPU companies, rack companies, there are tools providers, there are AI companies, they're all thriving. And why suddenly there is a clamor about bubble? But before just getting into that, what is a bubble? Has anyone gone through a bubble cycle? Do you know what is a bubble? Can you define it in one or two sentences? Anyone? How many of you say that, okay, bubble I heard and it's scary?
The dot-com bubble.
Yeah, you have heard about dot-com bubble. So this in American or Western economics, there is always this boom and bust cycle. The boom happens when there is a new technology or some new event that occurs, and that create a hype. There is a lot of demand, lot of optimism about that technology, and then when that hits its peak, it will burst. That's when we say that, okay, bubble is burst. So in one or two sentences, increase in any kind of price of something with no increase in value, that's a bubble. So you bought a house, you're into anything, and suddenly the value of the house is more now. We all experience that in Bay Area, right? So that's a housing bubble. If you bought a stock, it went up. That's in a bubble. So why this happen? Why people are talking about? Who are all talking about it? So Bank of England, it's a famous, very reputable bank that said that, okay, there is investor optimism that could trigger a market downturn. And then there is Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan CEO. He said there is excessive investor enthusiasm when it is related to AI. Then there is Jeff Bezos. He said, oh, investors are caught in self reinforcement cycle with speculative AI betting. That means they don't know whether something is going to pan out or not, but still they're betting that it will go somewhere. So, and the from the horse's mouth, Sam Altman, he said, someone will lose a phenomenal amount of money. It's Sam Altman who is selling, who is OpenAI CEO, and we all know that OpenAI is in center of all of that. Why that is coming? Let's take an example of what is happening with OpenAI itself. There are all these big investments coming to OpenAI. NVIDIA, we all know it started with Microsoft. They invested $13 billion. NVIDIA then came up with $100 billion. Oracle wanted to jump in. They wanted to invest $300 billion. They don't even worth that much. They said, okay, we are going to invest $300 billion over 4 years. And suddenly their stock pops up, adding nearly $200 billion. Now AMD wants to join, and they don't even have any money to invest, but they want to join. OpenAI asks, okay, what am I going to get from you? AMD said, okay, I'm going to give you 10% of my company. What should I do? I'm going to give you chips. So this is the kind of lot of investment is coming into OpenAI with no direction, no expectation of anything coming back. There is no ROI talk about it, but there is a lot of investment. And it's not just OpenAI. There are many of such deals are happening. NVIDIA has invested in CoreWeave. They gave their chips. They sell their chips and then they rent it back. Sell their GPUs and rent it back. All these kind of weird dealings that are going on. Meta invested in Google, their competitor. And there is this Stargate, which is 500 billion worth company started by our president and where everybody is investing in it. So all these investments are happening with no guarantee of returns. That is excessive optimism. That's why everybody is talking about it. Now, actually, let's look at it. What happens? So I'm still with OpenAI, going back to OpenAI, like how the investments are happening. So we have NVIDIA, AMD, Oracle that investing here in OpenAI with the hope that they will build tools. They'll build tools that startups will use, and then they want to buy hardware, and then they'll come back here. That's why they're investing. What is wrong with this cycle? What's the big deal? I want to sell something and I want to help out my partner who can build something that will bring business to me. What is wrong with this? That's pretty normal AI supply loop, right? It happens everywhere. Anyone can guess what it is? No, nobody is trying. Can you try? Yeah, Ritu, go ahead.
It's kind of money going around in the circle.
Yeah, it is going around in the circle here. The money is invested in OpenAI, and startups are going to use the tools that are developed by OpenAI, and there is a demand for them to use the hardware that these people sell. So that is in the loop. That is a very normal loop. But I tell you what the difference here is. The term for this, the term for this is self-leaking ice cream. That's a term, industry term for this. What does that mean? Ice cream is supposed to be for others to relish. But in this case, ice cream itself is relishing itself by licking itself. So that's the kind of visual that you have. And what it means is, what exactly is happening is, these companies, they're investing in OpenAI. In return, OpenAI purchases their hardware and to build the tools. And then the startups will use, and then the buys our hardware. That's the hope, that they will buy hardware. If you look at it, if you look at the other way, what's happening is NVIDIA invests $100 billion in OpenAI, and OpenAI buys 100 billions worth of GPUs. That means NVIDIA gave away 100 billions of dollars for free. Right? They gave away their GPUs for free. The hope is that when they build the tools, the startups will use, and when they buy the hardware. Let's take a look at this cycle. This is called vendor financing. This is a vendor like NVIDIA or AMD or Oracle. They invest in OpenAI. They are the vendors because they are selling these hardwares. That's why it's called vendor cycle, vendor financing, and I'll tell you what the problem with this. This is the flow that happens. In 2024, we saw that there was Oracle, there was Microsoft, NVIDIA, AMD, they were all there, and then they were building their, innovating their GPUs, their products, they're selling the products, all of that. And there were startups that were using it. Everything was good. These vendors, they wanted to bump up their sales. So what did they do? They invested in these tool providers so that they build tools that can be used by startups that will it will be easier for them to build the products. The hope is that they would come back and buy it, but what happens in general is these startups will be proliferate. They will just use all the tools for all kind of trivial products, and before you know, there will be AI glut. When there is AI glut, they will not buy the hardware back, because these AI products, they will be dark. That means nobody is using it. As is today, people are talking about there are more number of MCP developers than the users. There are more number of agents that are sitting there looking for people to use them. That is because these tool providers, they have made it very easy to build an agent. And people have built the agent. And it is waiting. How many of you use agent every day? Do you guys use? Yeah. Do you guys use? What do you use agent for, Abhijit?
I use Copilot for summarizing the meetings and stuff.
Okay. Okay. Copilot. Yeah. How about you, Aarti?
I use ChatGPT all the time, even to draft some difficult emails, or if I am traveling somewhere to make an itinerary, or a lot of things
Yeah.
in daily life. Yeah.
I know ChatGPT. Without ChatGPT, we cannot survive, right?
Yeah, it's my right hand.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes everything. It's everything. Now it's what we talk, what we think, everything. How about you, Amy?
Oh, I also use ChatGPT. I basically search for a lot of published papers.
Perfect, perfect. Yes, we all use ChatGPT, and then there are several other AI agents, AI products that we use. But tell me this: how many LLMs are out there? There is ChatGPT by OpenAI. There is Anthropic, which is very popular. There is Mistral, which is very popular in Europe. There is Grok that is very popular, but because of the founder. There are many other LLMs that are there. You take it for me. Abhijit said, okay, there are meeting agents that he is using meeting agents to generate action items or summary, all of those things. How many of them are there? How many of them how many agents are there that will take from the action items to filing a ticket in Jira? I don't know how many of you understand Jira, but taking one step further, there are so many agents that they are not already there. We see that it's only 70% of those agents are being used. 30% will never see the day of light. In fact, sometime back, MIT said 95% of AI experiments, AI initiatives do not meet the ROI. So all these are fine. So are we just imagining things? Is this something, because I said it 2025, the startups are proliferating, and 2026 is when the AI glut, that is when there will be so many AI agents, so many AI products that nobody can use. Not all of them will be put to use. And the money invested in that will go poof, gone. Are we imagining it? There are historic parallels to it. If you look at the flow, I share the same flow here. I just change the players. Over here, it's Oracle, Microsoft, NVIDIA, AMD. They are the vendors. Over here in dot-com bubble, we have Oracle, same Microsoft, but Cisco and Sun. They were the vendors. And they invested in tool providers. Over here, there is OpenAI, Anthropic, several of them. But over here, the tool providers are others, Netscape or Yahoo, Exodus. Exodus came up with the idea of data centers. They're the first people. So there are all these tool providers. So initially, when the internet started, there were very few startups. They were thriving. They were doing good. Then they started investing in the tool providers so that it can catch on better. And there was startup proliferation, and that led to dot-com glut. And we all know what happened in 2001. Poof, everything went up. The company's worth billions of dollars went bankrupt. This is the historic parallel. If you look at the flow, it's exactly same flow. Not only that, there is another bubble that happened around the same time. There were companies like Global Crossing, Cisco, Lucent, Corning. They were the people They thought, okay, yeah, this internet bubble, internet usage that is coming up, they need a lot of infrastructure. Let's lay down pipes to push all these data. So they invested in companies like L3 Communications, which laid cables under the ocean. They provide the connection. Covad, that provided household connections to internet. Exodus, that created a first data center. Till 1999, it was booming. All these companies their stocks were like hundreds of dollars. And in 2002, zero. Some of them went bankrupt. Chapter 11. So there was a telecom glut. So there are two bubbles, historic parallels. One is dot-com bubble, and in order to support the dot-com traction, or in order to help them build a capability to support dot-com traffic, they invested in telecom, and now that also hit the glut. So you see the parallels, right? So if the AI bubble is here, and if dot-com bubble is here, they are parallel. And telecom bubble started because they wanted to provide the infrastructure for the dot-coms. So in AI case, is there any investment going on in the infrastructure? Is there any capacity building effort going on? What runs the LLMs? What runs AI? Can anyone guess? Ritu, go ahead.
Data.
Data centers. Yeah, data can be stored and served using data centers, and these data has to be processed. They need energy, so there are a lot of investment going on with that. Namrata, go ahead.
Yeah, Google is building a huge data center in Vizag.
Yep.
Lots
That
of
was
GPUs.
yeah, I know it was. They announced it in a couple of weeks back, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's going on everywhere. So it needs a lot of energy. Data centers consume a lot of energy. So what are they doing? There is a big energy investment going up. Just in 2025, look at the percentage of increase in the energy investment. Europe, 126%. India, 73%. China, 97%. US, 88%. Just in 1 year. Last year, all these investment were not there. Today, they are there. Why? Because they see that, oh, there will be demand, let's build it out. Just like what happened with telecom. This is about energy, data centers. So this is what the projection is. In 2024, the power that is required by data center is 4 gigawatts. By 2035, in 10 years, it's going to be 123 gigawatts. How many times? Nearly 30 times, right? 30 times increase. So you see the parallel here? Same thing is happening. That's why all this clamor, that's why people are talking about, all these people, they are talking about AI bubble. There is speculative AI betting, there is excessive investor enthusiasm. That's why there is this clamor about AI bubble. Look at the stock values. Stock values, what happened? During dot-com bubble, Sun W, which they changed it to Java, they were here. This is the peak. And when the bubble burst, they went down. Cisco was up here. When the bubble burst, it went down. Still struggling to get back to their level. Are there parallel to these upswings today? Nvidia going up, Broadcom going up. Ashwini, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. Like, we learn from our mistakes or the experience. So, the brilliant minds of the market, like the industries, if they are trying to invest or have a plan for it, so there might be some backup, right? So it's not like after some time everything will burst or something like that, because every failures or the past experience, we learn something.
That's true. That's true. Only if there is no excessive optimism.
Yes,
That's the
that's
problem.
correct.
There is a big hype. They are building this hype. There is going to be new thinking LLMs. So if after all this investment, if you look at what OpenAI is providing, their 4.0 was a flop. GPT
Hmm.
4.0 flop. GPT 5.0 flop. Still, people are investing. Why? Because they are creating the hype. Oh yeah, next year there will be AGI. 3 years back, Sam Altman said next year there will be AGI. And today he's telling next year there will be AGI. We don't know. There might be. I'm not saying no, but all there is this hype. Because of hype, they forget the history. Not everybody. Some people are remembering it. That's why they are saying there is.
Take it slow. Yeah, like okay, like
That's
and
why they are warning. Yes,
yeah, and when they're expecting like everything will be replaced by AI, that's not possible, right? Like because even if you run like some enhancement for the code, if you run by 10 times, at the end, sometime they give totally different result. It's not like every time it's maintaining the consistency. So yeah, I don't feel like it's like every like individual's role is replaceable.
that's true. Currently, technology is not there. I'm not. We are not talking about the technology here. Technology is going to continue to improve. I believe today the whatever the capabilities, whatever you mentioned is not there, but they are working on it, right? It may happen another 3 years, 5 years. It may happen. I'm talking about more about the investments that are going. Always the
Okay.
investments that drives the hype, because if there is more investment, there will be more. It can attract talent, and they can build more, and then those talents, some of them they are building. There are some of them they are creating the hype. They have to go hand in hand. So
Okay.
that's why we are talking about the investment that is irrational exuberance. That is what is happening. Go ahead, Ritu.
So, since we are drawing parallels, the dot-com bubble started in 95, peaked at 99, and then crashed in 2001. Where are we in the AI bubble in comparison to the same time frames?
That nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. But if you look at it, there is, when I in the flow I mentioned today we are here, AI glut is going to happen in 2026. And it's already showing. There are many things that are showing that there is a glut happening. It's a very different topic. Some other day I can talk about how do you identify there is a glut? What are the metrics for that? We can speak about it some other time, maybe a few months later, whenever Shalini gives me a chance. But it's expected. We don't know. 2026. That's what the expectation is. Go ahead, Namrata.
So people say we are at 5% of AI. If we are at 5% of AI, why would there be a bubble?
Well, the technology does not progress in a linear fashion. It is always like this. I will come back to that in a couple of slides from
Okay, thank you.
here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So not everybody is telling that there is a bubble. If you look at it, we saw these things, these parallels are there, but not everybody is agreeing. There is this time is different. It's Jensen Huang. He said like 4 or 5 days back. At least that was reported 4 or 5 days back. I don't believe we are in AI bubble. Of course, Jensen has no skin in the game, so he is telling whatever he's telling is truthful. He is very truthful, right? Yeah, there is no bubble. We have to believe him, right? But there is somebody else, Jerome Powell. He said this time is different. Namrata or Ritu, I think one of you may raise this point. Why the historical parallel, right? This time they're saying that this time it's not this bubble. We are not in a bubble because this wave is different than .com wave. Because Jerome Powell is telling because these investments are actually having earnings. Earlier in .com, during the .com, they didn't have to have a product. They didn't have to have a business plan. All they had to do is put up a website and then say, hey, we are going IPO. People would invest. So Jerome Powell is telling that, no, this time the companies have actual earnings. So he is a respectable person. I don't think he has any skin in the AI game. So we can trust him more. What about other guy, Mark Cuban? How many of you know him? Namrata, Amy, yeah, great. Yes, Mark Cuban is a very respected, well-respected businessman. His claim for fame is that he started a company called broadcast.com or something, and he sold it right before the .com bubble because he knew that exactly, oh, it's going to burst, okay, get rid of it. So he is telling there is an absence of funky AI companies. That is something like what I mentioned about having a website and going for an IPO. They are not going public, all these funky AI companies. For example, Gamma is not going public anytime soon, right? Which is very popular. AI companies, they are having real operating profits. I do not know about any AI company that is having profits, barring all the vendors and tool providers. Any company that is really making AI products, are they in operating profits? I do not know, but he's telling that certainly we have to give it to him. So what happens after the bubble burst? That is very important because the bubble may happen or may not happen. Going forward in 2026, what happens? There will be more and more infrastructure for AI will be available. So automatically the infrastructure becomes cheaper. So once the infrastructure becomes cheaper, there will be use of that, and there will be abundance of intelligence. There will be, because of all the infrastructure investment that is going on now, with all the energy generation, optimization, because of all of that, there will be abundance of energy. Then our lives will change completely. Just like what happened with .com. When the .com bubble burst, whatever the tools that were created during .com hype were continued to use. For example, HTTPS was invented during .com hype, and that is the backbone of e-commerce today. correct? Because of the the data pipes that they laid in 90s, late 90s. Today, we all can have internet connections so cheap. For example, before .com, if you wanted to call your any number outside of your area code, it would cost you. Today, international calls are zero cost, right? Nobody pays for that other than the monthly fee, whatever we pay, pretty much. We don't count the minutes. Before that, people used to really count the minutes when they call somebody over the phone. So whenever there is a glut, then the infrastructure becomes cheap, and then the second revolution starts. Just like after .com bubble, Google came up, Facebook started. Those are the things that changed our life totally. Can you imagine a life without internet today? Forget about AI, just without internet, without mobile. We cannot imagine our lives. And 20 years back or 30 years back, if you had told anyone that, okay, this is how our life is going to be, we couldn't. Nobody would understand that. Somebody who is a data scientist here, there was no role called data scientist 30 years back. So we do not know when the bubble bursts, maybe not bubble, but still when the AI becomes really big, it is adopted everywhere. It's not like that's the end of life. There will be new types of employment, new walks of life. You will become you will have a new role. If you look at, again, going back to .com bubble, who are the people who thrived after the bust? The people who knew how to use internet. They are the ones who thrived after the bust. That's why if you know how to put AI to use today, if you learn, if you know how well you know AI determines how much you can thrive later. Because it's going to be a bubble, it's going to burst. We don't have to get scared and not ignore AI or walk away from AI. Instead, we have to invest in AI because the technology is going to survive. Technology is going to continue. It's going to progress. It's going to reach new heights. But not the current businesses. They may go away. If you look at like Sun was the most famous company. We are the .com in the we are the dot in the .com. That's what they used to say. They were said, okay, we are at the center of .com, and today they are not even there. Yahoo, they are there, totally weak. There is no finance, anything happening with them. So there are many instances like that. Same way, today's businesses, they'll go bankrupt, but there will be new businesses coming up, new roles will coming up. So my takeaway for you is that there are historical parallels when people are talking about a bubble here. What I shared is just the data points that is indicating the bubble. I'm not predicting there will be bubble or not. I'm not qualified for that. But I have given you some data points to look at to understand when people say, oh, there is bubble, oh, there is not bubble. Okay, but you can understand. You have some perspective, new perspective to look at it from that perspective. And again, remember, when the bubble pops, it is not end of life, it's a new beginning. Any questions? I would love to answer questions. We talked quite a bit.
I have a question. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Ram. Ram has
Go
a
ahead.
question.
Yeah. So you gave parallels with the .com and the communication. How about the financial bubble? The did that
Yeah,
did that create new opportunities for people who learned something there?
financial bubble is a different type of bubble that's not caused by technology. It was a different, it was, of course, it was, there are a lot of creativity with the financial packaging. The learnings from there is that how we can prevent it. There are a lot of checks and balances that were introduced at that time. That was more similar to what happened with the the bubble burst in 1929. That's the Great Depression. During that time also there were a lot of financial creativity, and that led to this burst, and 2008 it is very similar to that.
Thank you.
How about others? Any other questions?
I have one question.
Sure.
Yes, go ahead, Koshi. Koshi has a
Koshi, go
question.
ahead.
Well, thank you, Jay. I mean, it was a wonderful talk, by the way. I mean, my question is that how do you define this glut? You actually mentioned that one of the causes of the AI bubble could be that all the startup companies are going to produce more and more agents, and there is more agentic solutions out there, and there is not much need for them, and that is what going to happen. So that is what I am slightly concerned. I mean, is that a realistic prediction? Uh, like,
That's a very good. You're making a very good point. How do we know that we are heading towards glut? That's a different topic, but I would like to mention there are a couple of things that are already indicating. One is about the agents that are not being used. Believe it or not, there is a lot of unemployed AI agents today. There are many scheduling agents. There are many weather agents. There are many Slack agents that are built that will never be used. They're called dark agent. They used to call this back in telecom bubble, they used to call it dark fiber. They laid the pipes from city to city, but nobody used those pipes to transfer data. Similarly, there are a lot of agents. If you build an agent, many people, you will see that there are so many of them. That is another indicator that whatever you want to do, if you have many products, that you have to go over that, to analyze that, to find the right one for you, that means there is a bubble. For example, 1 year back, Cursor was the only wipe coding company. Cursor, right? Do you guys remember? Anyone knows about Cursor? Cursor, you don't know? Yeah.
well,
So Cursor is a first company that built a tool coding agent. They built that vibe coding agent. So everybody jumped on that. Today, there are so many of them. Today, just within 1 year, there is Windsurf, there is Lovable, there is Replit, there is 44, some 44. There are many of them. 6 months or 8 months back, I was consulting with one company, and we were building a transcription kind of AI product. During that time, we did some market research. There were about some 15, 20 companies which are doing very similar work. Today, I went and checked on Tulify.ai. There are 847 companies doing similar work. So that is another indicator for to know that, okay, there is a glut that is coming in.
Is there anybody else who want to ask question, or I can ask one more question if you don't mind? Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So my question is that, I mean, AI has been compared to electricity. Okay, like electricity can be used for multiple purposes for any kind of thing. I can't seem to have a parallel like that in any of the stuff, any of the examples that you showed, like telecom or internet. I mean, I don't. I mean, are they like electricity? But here, you can use AI to make your workflow easier, or dramatically use it to increase productivity in any kind of workflow. So even if there is going to be a glut, wouldn't it be possible that there is some way they can use whatever that is glutty over there can be used for any of the can be filled to improve the productivity of any of these people who are clamoring for increasing in productivity? I mean, so just one thought. I mean, so
Yeah,
I
that's a
don't know
great
whether I'm
analogy.
making sense of it. Yeah.
That's a great analogy. You are 100% correct. AI is compared to electricity. Just like electricity, AI is going to change everything. If you look at the history of AI, electricity, when it was mass produced, when they figured out how to mass produce electricity, how to lay wires in all the cities and electrifying it, all of that happened. There were huge companies. Edison was a big company. There are many others. I don't remember the names because it happened way a long time back. So there were a lot of companies which are into mass production of electricity. There are a lot of innovation going on. A lot of money was invested. During that time, it was Edison was like Nvidia. And today there is nothing. General Electric, you know that, what happened. It's the same thing. So why it happened? Because there is a glut of energy. It was very easy. There are a lot of places where energy was mass produced. Initially, when there is no electricity and now suddenly you got the electricity, it was a big change. But when you have multiple sources coming in, now the value reduced. Of course, even today there is more innovation going on with energy production. There is no doubt. That is because the demand is increasing. Again, because of AI, right? But what happens is that there is always, it goes in a cycle, the technology. My belief is that it's going to lead to quantum later, right? Just like internet generated so much data, they laid down so much telecom, there is so much data transfer equipment, infrastructure that is available. Because of that, mobile was able to survive.
Yeah.
If mobile technology had started before internet, it would not have been like this.
Mm.
With the mobile, there is so much data that is generated because in all kinds of situations, life situations. Because of that, today AI can be effective. It is useful. We are able to build LLMs because of that. Now, going forward, because all the investments that are made with power generation, all other infrastructure, because of that, now it will lead to the next revolution that would be quantum. That's what I believe. But what I'm saying is AI is like electricity, but at some point, right now it is in a hype cycle, but it will come down, and after that it will lead to something else. Did I answer your question? Or?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jay, for the wonderful session. I'm sure we all gained a lot of knowledge. I would like to ask the new guests in this group if they would like to add and they would like to share some experience of how they felt for this workshop and the meeting. Samira?
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
How was your experience since you are the guest for our meeting? How was your experience with today's meeting?
It was really good. I'm sorry I joined a little late, but I really found it very informative, and I'm going to join the next one. So thank you so much. I was actually thinking this was a really good webinar, but thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you in our future workshops as well. How about anybody else? Guest would like to give their share their experience?
Go ahead, Ritu.
Yeah, it was very informative and covered a lot of basic stuff, which was very easy to understand and follow, and I really liked it.
Thank you, Ritu. How about Ashwini?
Yeah, I got to know many new concepts like and the graphical representation was simple and easy to understand. And thanks for all the background and information. And thanks for the interaction. It's like waiting at the end for the question. Sometimes we lose the thought, but thanks for having us open the discussion. And I'm looking forward for the next sessions.
Yes, please join our future sessions also. Sushitra, would you like to share some your experience?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, this is my first time. It was informative, of course, like everybody said. Yeah, I'd like to join the future sessions too. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Ruchika? Hi, Ruchika. You can hear me?
Okay. Aarti, I think Ruchika used to be a member of our club earlier.
Oh, okay.
I remember her, yeah.
Okay.
So,
how about Koshi? You are also new to the group. How was your experience?
Well, thank you, Jay, for the wonderful presentation. It was worthwhile. I must actually say that, and I felt my time well spent. Thank you.
Amy, how about
Yeah, I
you?
think it's a super good presentation, and also all the topics we discussed is so useful and just make people to think. So it's very good, and I will attend the following ones also. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Is it possible to watch the recording of the previous session, like the last Tuesday's session? I missed that one and would love to watch it.
Me too.
Shalini and Abhijit, you can answer.
We'll share the recordings.
sure, we'll share the recording, yeah. And Ritu and all the guests, I would like you to join our regular meetings also and see what we do in Toastmasters, how we help people network and improve their impromptu speaking, improve confidence, public speaking skills, all those things. And we do everything with hands-on. Everything is hands-on, like you apply them in your regular meetings.
Yes, we would love to have you guys as a member of our Toastmasters club.
And how do we join? You'll let us know offline. How do we join?
Yes, we'll let you know. Yeah, we'll send
You
you
can
an
probably
email.
send the information in the group or
Yes.
email stuff.
Send them in the email. So keep checking your emails. We'll be sending a follow-up email after this meeting.
Thank you so much.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again, Jay. It was a wonderful session, and thank you, everyone, for joining. It was great, and looking forward for our next AI session next week on Tuesday. Thank you so much.
Next one is
Thank
going to be
you
very
for giving me the
interesting.
opportunity.
Yeah, next one is going to be very interesting. It's about problem-solving skills in your daily life, and led by our Angela Fitch, who is an international speaker. So do join us. And thank you so much, Jay. Thank you, Aarti.